Hi and welcome to the Propcast, episode 3. And today we have managed to finally rope in Scott James, the weapons.
Oh my god. Okay.
Love this.
What do I do, Bear? I've got the camera down at you.
You tell us.
He's so used to
You're usually leading.
He's the one directing us and barking orders at us.
Yeah.
I don't see it that way, but okay.
And now it's the other way.
I'm loving this.
Yeah, this is great.
I feel like it's
Do you
like
feel
a
quite
rabbit
close?
in the
I
headlights.
feel like a school child who's in trouble.
Well, you are in trouble
Feel
by the
quite
time we're
powerful.
finished. Right, so let's get started.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello. Give us a little bit of an introduction about yourself prior to Aroa Properties.
Okay. So, born in Gloucester, raised in Colford, joined the military probably about like 19 or 20. So left home, went and did the training and moved to Oxford, where I was based with a helicopter squadron at RAF Benson. Then after that, left the military, did a bit of travelling.
Sorry, I got brain fog. Why did you leave the military?
Sorry, I'd realised after 3 years in the military, there's a hierarchy and there's a structure, and you can go so far, but then like that is it. You know.
Were there any women in the military?
Yeah. We had some really nice ladies in the military.
Who were that?
Did you see you smile then?
No, there were.
Any connections?
Do you know what? No, I don't speak to many people from the
Oh, I
military,
didn't mean.
So next was hospitality.
Okay.
Hospitality. Fell into hospitality. After a bit of travelling, went out to the States, did that for about 6 or 7 months, and then...
Who was your boss in hospitality?
So that was where we met. And Lucy was at the time.
This is where it gets interesting.
Lucy at the time was in charge. Useless, by the way, can I just say. There's a reason that I
So can I just get my head around this? Lucy was your boss.
Yeah.
You joined hospitality.
Yeah.
Where?
There's a little hotel in St. Rebels.
Which is now closed.
Yeah,
Not
which
because
is
of us.
Well, it was because we got
Taken over.
involved with like this £70 million scam from a guy who bought the hotel. And anyway, it was very sad, very long story.
It had been owned by like a Christian company for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And they were lovely.
Then
Okay.
a man that ran pyramid schemes bought it. And then, long story short, after that whole period, he left the country with £70 million worth of investors' money and went out to Dubai and has never been called since.
So now I'm just trying to connect from our conversation last week with Lucy. We must have missed a massive section out. Police force manager of an estate agent.
yeah.
Where did the hospitality bit?
So
fall?
I briefly left the estate agency to be a reception manager at a hotel.
Why would you do that?
Because I think where I was working at the time, I wasn't particularly happy. And so I was like, I can be a manager of a reception at a hotel. So I just tried it. Just
Out of interest.
go on.
This is out of interest. So the agent that you worked for at the time that you'd left, you said you wasn't 100% about it. Was it women dominated? Were there any men within that company?
There were women, but none of them were in management roles. It was just
How many women and how many men?
well, the one main man who ran it, and everyone else was women.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, and that was it. But yeah, so I just basically, as I do sometimes, just go a little bit crazy. I thought I'd do something different. But in the grand scheme of it, I met Scott, we've got our children, and
Business.
we started working together from that point and never stopped,
Yeah.
really.
Basically.
So that
Have
was
you-
a long time ago.
Have you, living together, having a family together, working together, how has that affected your relationship? Is it
Answer that.
I'd say it has its challenges, but I think with estate agency and where you're out on different appointments and things like that, and you're so fast paced and quite busy, during the workday you hardly see each other anyway. Then when you get home, by the time you've debriefed on the day, you've calmed down from, and then
Do
you're back
you
into
ever-
normal relationship mode.
Do you ever get a break from it? Because I feel that if I had a partner in the industry and I worked with them and lived with them and had a family with them.
Yeah,
I feel like you would never get that break because you're always going to be talking about work.
Yeah, but we just love each other so much. No, I think it's like she'll be at work on my day off and I'll be at work on her day off.
Oh, so you timed it so you don't ever see each other.
Kind of, yeah. And just for the way it works, that, you know, that she needs to be in when I'm off. And so that does give you that little bit of like,
respite.
Yeah, that's it. And then, again, you just get used to it. I think it's what you're used to. So if you're not used to working with your partner and then all of a sudden that might seem quite an alien concept for you.
I think a lot of people will not be able to work with their partners.
Who is the boss in the relationship?
Lucy.
Who is the boss in the company relationship?
That's you.
Lucy.
No, it's not. Don't be like that.
Lucy's a dark.
Yeah.
So
I actually agree with you.
Yeah.
I just feel like without...
You have your moments.
Yeah.
But you get that look, and I know.
Lucy will.
I don't think I am. I think as far as the estate agency goes, you deal with all of the stuff that I cannot deal with. I don't.
That doesn't mean that he's the boss of the company.
yeah.
Who's the boss of the relationship?
The dynamic.
Who
wears the trousers.
Who organises everybody's
go?
day?
I have to organise everything, but I think that's just because that's what I'm like.
Yeah, but I do like to take that supporting role as opposed to the leading role, which
You like
why
to sit back and...
our dynamic works well here.
How does it feel working in a female-dominated office? Obviously, we have, had, men here before that sort of worked in a company, and obviously
it's very unusual as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it links back to that again. I had that period of time in the military where you are, and again, probably how I can work and live with Lucy. You work and live with your team. You work and live with the people that you're around. So you're around them all the time. So I was used to that from that anyway. So so I probably gravitate more towards that than people that might find it strange being with their partners more.
Yeah.
Because of the way that the work and life in the military is so connected. And for that, I was around guys so much, and all the male competition that comes with it.
You've got no competition here, have you, eh?
Yeah, well, that's good. Well, I don't know about that. There's still a little bit going on here, but I'd say one of the reasons was leaving was, again, I wanted to do more and things like that. But when you've been in that environment for so long, you don't mind just stepping out of it, and you're like, oh, I haven't got to compete with XYZ and all this like.
You have got to compete with Lucy, though, haven't you? Because
and
when you both joined Aroa, and obviously Lucy fell pregnant within 6 months, you had to really step up and become the valuer.
Yeah.
And that's something in the industry that you've actually never.
Yeah, that was the first.
You've never done before, and obviously Lucy had to, again, be your boss, train you, show you the ropes. How did you feel, and you can be honest, how did you feel when obviously you knew that the family was going to grow and you had to put a bigger pair of boots on?
It's huge, isn't it, when you realise, like, okay, the family's going to grow. It's not just going to be because there was 3 of us. We already had Maya, and that was when obviously we then, we thought that was it. And then George came along, and I think it took...
What was the scariest part of it?
I'm not sure. It took a while. I think you'll vouch for me, probably about a good month to get used to it. I think... the rock bottom was when
my reaction, or
wow, your reaction was hilarious, but I'd say it took a while to get used to the notion of it, and then also what that meant for us after we just agreed to do this sort of venture together.
I think we were both more scared about telling Chris about the situation than anybody else.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah,
I can't even remember my reaction.
I remember
I wish we'd
you had a mop. You were mopping the floor, and I had been trying to tell you all day. Scott was like, you have to tell Chris, and you were like, there we are, mopping the floor, and I went, Chris, I've got something to tell you. And went, you're pregnant. And I was like, oh my god, I was like, she knew the whole time. And I was like, but I've realised since then, when anyone's like, Chris, I've got something to tell you, you just automatically assume that's what they're going to say.
Yeah,
but
I
thought Chris knew, and she was waiting for me to tell her. And I literally remember like my jaw dropping, and she was holding the mop, and I was like, is she going to hit me with it? What's she going to do? And I remember you saying, well, what are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
Scott turned around and went, I don't know.
I don't remember that bit.
I so did. And I remember walking out and shutting the door, and like you were there with your mop, and I remember thinking, I'm just going to give her some time.
I do clean.
Yeah. It's on the record.
It's on the record. I clean. I keep things nice and tidy.
2 years, 9 months ago, she did have a mop in her hand.
So that is true.
Yeah,
that was a
tricky.
huge change.
Yeah, and stepping up was part of
You
that. That was
were
fine.
crapping your pants.
The worst thing was, normally January is relatively okay.
I remember this.
Can you remember? It went mental.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It was the busiest January I've ever known, and I was like, "Oh, it's fine, guys. I'm gonna give birth in January. January is like
I was
a
supposed
quieter
to
month."
handhold him through this process. I don't actually know what happened.
It was all a blur.
It was all a blur.
Super quick blur. Next thing, George was here.
Yeah.
And that was it. Life carried on.
We didn't have Georgia then either, so it was the two of us.
Way back.
That's when George was coming out on viewings with me. You were doing vows,
Yeah.
and I don't even remember the time. It was just insane.
Yeah.
It was crazy, and we moved offices.
Can you remember our first? What was that little petty clip that we was doing for you to hand yourself over to in my capable hands?
Was done.
That was hilarious. Yeah.
And
I remember the yellow coat and the bird making all that noise
That's
in the
right,
sky.
yeah.
And and it was a seagull, and you were like, "Fucking seagull!" And every time me and you tried to talk, it'd go, "Wah, wah," and you'd be like, "Seagull,"
Yeah. We still haven't sold
and I literally just stood there like,
Still
about
for
to pop.
sale.
That's a tricky one though. Hopefully soon.
So, if you were to choose a character
Right.
to suit our personality and our role, who would it be and why?
Oh. I mean, what comes to mind is Pinky in the Brain. Between you two right now, like Pinky in the Brain. Today, Pinky, we're going to take over the world.
Except for Lucy, what gets her out of bed in the morning?
What gets me out of bed in the morning is probably just getting to come to work and see your smiley face to start with. I mean, that just lights me up every day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That feeling's not reciprocated.
I think we should talk
Tried really
about
hard to do that.
the relationship you two have, because you are very chalk and cheese, and you two have you do fight it out
I
sometimes.
don't know what you're on about.
I feel like our personalities are too similar.
You can sometimes be like a brother and sister, fighting it out, because you both have similar personalities that you stand off.
Ever had a standoff? Yeah. In the 3.5 later.
Are you serious?
I think
Either he's pretending he hasn't, or he didn't realise it was a standoff.
no, so we definitely have had one or two.
With all of your work that you carry out, what are you aiming to do and who are you aiming to do it for?
Okay, so I guess if we say what am I aiming to do?
Yeah.
What are we aiming to do? I think is the question as a team. But for me in that team is try and help with the operations, obviously. That's my main role, is the operations and going out and valuing. And
Which bit do you love the best?
oh, that's tricky. I do love the photography, the media, the boys' toys of the drone and things like that. I like the negotiations of the sales when they get tied up. It's lovely meeting people and hearing their story, and I'm becoming more aware of that, I think, as the older I get. Initially, I didn't realize, I just think, right, you've got to go out and win a valuation. But now it's like, why is this person wanting to sell their house? And like, how is it that they've come to ask us out? And then how is that going to affect their life? And, what is it?
So would you say that you see like a bigger picture than just pound signs now?
Yeah. But also I'm in business to make money. So it comes hand in hand. If I work hard and I do a good job, that should mean that we then get paid for what we do. And then that means that, our kids and we can grow up and have a nice life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like we're at such a start of a journey. And this is, 3.5 years is
We
not
are
a
in the
long time.
infant stage.
Yeah,
so
massively.
3 years isn't
massively.
I think we forget
In terms of
sometimes
us.
how-
Yeah, absolutely.
It's only been that short a time.
Yeah.
And I think narrowing down that focus and the goals has only been in that 3.5 years. And I think the kids have had a massive part in that. I just say, if we work really hard and we get paid for the work that we do, then, everyone's happy, surely.
What are you actually doing this for?
So to do this now, and like I said, this has changed hugely.
I think that's business, isn't it? Everything changes and moves on, and you take new directions. Like this, for
definitely.
example.
But
Was it the self-employed part that sold it to you? The monetary side, the outside looking in, looking like a sort of a fancy job.
no, not the looks at all. I very much prefer to be behind the camera and out the scenes. For me, it is just, I don't know.
You said earlier that you liked working and building a business.
I think that's,
Enhancing.
just growing a business from
He likes
taking it
to
from
look at-
something to
Like a vision.
Yeah, definitely. And then getting that end result. And I think that's why the sales work so well, because you're taking someone that wants something and you're getting them that end result. And that's what you're doing. You're working hard to get that. So you kind of have that on your operations is what you do every day to get people sold. And then as a business, you're taking it and you're like, right, how do we take our business from here to there? Well, let's do a podcast. Let's do, whatever it may be. Let's get the newest camera. And for me, I like to be that one step ahead. And I think that playing that part in a business is great. And then, hopefully the reward for that is that for all your time and hard work, you get to do the things that you want to do in life.
It was hard at the beginning, though, wasn't it? Because you were actually doing two jobs to try and financially make it work for you both.
Yeah, definitely.
So not only was obviously Lucy pregnant, but you were trying to learn how to go out and value properties and manage Lucy's job role, and got a qualification learning how to drive lorries.
Yeah. So again, I was already qualified to drive the lorries through the military, but then you had to go and get civilian qualifications to be able to do it.
So you had the license to do it within the military, but not externally.
That's right, yeah. So I then had to go and do that.
How many accidents have you ever had in a lorry?
In a lorry, right. I've never hit anyone or anything in a lorry.
Have you ever gone in the wrong direction?
Definitely gone in the wrong direction and got stuck a couple of times.
How long did you last in it?
So I did 3 months as a lorry driver in civilian world.
At this point, did you think that if you were going to make it? Did you think that...
this would work?
Yeah. Did you see light at the end of the tunnel?
I think at that point it was still a gamble. You didn't know whether the next day we'd turn around and go, actually, this isn't working. Or, so that was, there to be in the background as a fallback. But the lorry.
So you could still fall back to it if you wanted.
Could do if
Would we cope without him?
Yeah, we couldn't.
All joking aside, you are bloody fantastic at what you do, and I don't want to blow your trumpet.
I think he does keep us in check as well, doesn't
you
he?
do keep us in check, and actually you keep a really nice balance in the office. There's too many hormones flying around on occasions, and including your own.
I was going to say
that is true. Yeah, mine's probably worse.
I actually think you're worse.
I think he is as well.
Yeah, I do genuinely think you're worse.
No, but I think the one thing that we don't shout about, obviously no one ever sees you, is how we are so lucky to have you. And not only on a personal level from me, from the support and for being with our family and the children and everything you've done and everything you continue to do is amazing. But the fact that you are prepared to put up with me and Chris.
Wow, you guys probably too, so I think it's very a two-way street.
It's easy for people to see me and Chris and the face of the business and how much we do, but you're behind the scenes.
You're our little rock.
He is, and it sounds really smushy, but you are, and you hold it all together. You keep us in check, business-wise. You know the figures, the stats. You do all of that, and without that, we wouldn't work.
Yeah.
So
I think that's just playing to each other's strengths, isn't it?
100%.
You guys are, out there doing your thing, and then I can be doing my thing, and that just works so well.
So, are we ready to wrap this one up?
Yeah, I think so. As long as
do you feel okay? Are you
that was terrible.
He does look a little bit on edge.
This is the one and only time that you will get this done where I am.
I actually think we were really, really kind.
Yeah, no,
there was a lot more.
Yeah,
that
could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I did okay. Seeing as
you did fine. You're going to edit it, so I'm sure he will cut a lot of him out.
He's definitely going to make his face more.
Thank you both for pushing me outside my comfort zone.
You don't say thank you to us very often.
Yeah.
Now
on camera.
I have it. Yeah, on camera for us to look back on
and remember
each and every time.
Okay.
So I want to end this episode again on a quote. These guys know how much I love a quote in the office. So I found another one that really resonates with me, and I'm not sure about you guys. So this one, all I think about is what I can do to improve the quality of life for myself and those around me. The older I get, the less things outside matter to me.
Yeah.
We're going to end it on that one.
That's nice.
And if we could ask, if you did manage to get to the end of this, if you did, to like and subscribe. And again, our promise to you is that we will be better, we will get better. And we are still just working on our next person that we'd like to interview that will inspire and enhance our podcast journey. So thank you again for watching.
Awesome. Thanks very much.
Why the vampires stay there?
Yeah, there probably is some vampires on that island. But,
Do remind me of a vampire.
why can't you?
It's better than an alien, though.
He always hides in the dark.
Well,
And it's
not hiding in the dark now. I just sound weird.
really cold.
This is why he doesn't want to be on camera.